What's up, y'all? My name is Chris Taylor, and we are back with another episode of Illosophical Conversations. Actually, this is the first episode of Illconversations. We have the whole squad here today, and if you look at this camera right here, y'all, we're going to cut to it right now. We have the whole squad. We're going to start down from our left, and we're going to work our way down and say who we are. So,
what's up with it? I'm Chris, a.k.a. Crispy Cuts.
Marty Towns.
My name is Chris Taylor, like I said.
I'm Clay. What's good?
And we are Illosophical. Start the band music. But now we wanted to do this podcast episode to get the whole squad here so you guys know who actually formed the Illosophical and you guys can actually see all of our faces. So, how you guys doing today? I know it took a little bit of time for us to get this whole fucking setup. I had to go back home, but we actually got it set up and I'm pretty hyped about it.
I'm glad we worked out the kinks, so it's like nothing we have to
marathon. Now we're good to go.
Yeah, cool. honestly.
It's cool. I'm feeling good.
Everyone feeling good?
Yes, sir.
Hell yeah. All right, y'all. So, I kind of want to start with just talking about like how Illosophical kind of formed. Like, I came up with the name back in college, but like we really got shit popping with the first open mic. So we'll start with Chris. Chris, let's take it back to the very first open mic. And to now, how do you feel about how the first open mic started and to where we are now?
Bro, it was from the first one compared to where we're at now. I'd say as far as like elevation, bro, as far as expectation, I would say not elevation, but I didn't expect anything, but from what we're doing now to where we were at, just a little. We had a nice little show on the first one, but compared to now, I can only imagine like what we would be in like 4 or 5 years from now. But no, it's going crazy. As far as like the first one, we had the 52 people in there, and I'm like, oh, okay, we got a nice little crowd. We got a nice little creative space. We can keep going. We can turn this into something. We had artists pull up, and then we would continue to brainstorm from that, and then it would turn. The second one, we added art up to the wall. We're selling art. We having different artists pull up. And then, like, as it went, it became more intimate, and then we worked out the kinks. We knew which vibe to go with, and we knew what to look out for, what type of people to let in, stuff like that. Not that nobody was welcome, but you already know how it goes. It's like you got a vibe check.
Yeah, no, facts. That's the biggest thing.
No. As far as, like, from where we started to now, though, it's crazy. I wouldn't have expected what we're doing now. Like, sitting down podding about it, like, man, we came a long way, I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah. Marty, how do you feel about the first open mic to now?
I feel like I don't know. I think that like that first like year where we were doing them every month, it was kind of like for me, like a check every month that I'm like still doing something like art wise. Because like before this, I didn't like have an outlet actually to show stuff.
Yeah.
And so I like don't think I was really like keeping myself like on track with it until we were doing the open mics, and then it was like, okay, every month, like I don't want to bring the same stuff, so I gotta have new things every time, and that I've kind of just like kept that energy like past the month ones to now. So
yeah, facts. And then we're gonna jump to Clay. Clay, what you think about from you DJing from the very first one to now?
I just think we've been on a real good trajectory. We had the first 3 were good, and then we kind of saw a little dip, but work out the kinks, got the crowd back.
Yeah.
We've just been finding good artists around the city, building connects with them. And now we got Ill Sessions, so.
Yeah, that's cool. It's cool to see the, from my perspective, it's cool to see like how we talked about it right before Johnny Politics dropped. I think it was like July or like June, something like that. And we talked about how we need to transform like monthly into like maybe every 3 months. But then too, like seeing the artists pull back up, like we all know about FJE Doug. Like Doug's been one of the artists that's been pulling up every time, and he's been able to grow. Every time. And I think at the heart of it is like that's what we really want to do is like give a platform to artists and stuff like that, let them grow and just become who they are as an artist. Because I know when I was making music coming up, my first start when I was 16, there wasn't really a platform like that around. And even then now, like I don't think there's really a platform for artists to come through, kick it, network, and just grow as an artist and become who they really want to be and who they ultimately can become. So. It's been really dope to see it, and like even now we're podcasting and we're working out the kinks, just like with the not the Ill Sessions, but the open mics. We're working out the kinks and we're building the plane as we fly it, and I think we're doing a really good job, honestly, because for one, we're actually doing it, and two, we're actually staying consistent, and three, we're getting better every time that we do it. Yeah. So I think that's a really cool thing to see, honestly.
Thanks. Do you remember the first time we talked about it? The first time ever coming together, like walking over here or being able
because I would come get my haircuts. Yeah. And we would talk about it. And I'd honestly, like, I had a picture in my mind of what it would look like. But this is how a lot of things happen in life. You have a picture in your mind how you think it's gonna go, and then you actually do that shit, and then it's like, oh shit, it's actually turned out better than what I thought it was gonna be. And the cool thing is that it's gonna keep growing and keep going. So that's I really love doing this shit. It's been really cool to see and stuff like that. So I really do appreciate y'all too putting in that work in this like
Yeah,
working.
dude.
Because
It's so crazy. Having this space is like so nuts, dude.
Yeah.
Like no one has it. It's so crazy.
Yeah, no, honestly,
The
it's literally-
perfect space.
Yeah, perfect venue. It's a barbershop on one side. Then you come over here, it's like, oh, we can actually make like a lit show and actually pack like 50 to 70 people in here.
Yeah,
and it's
dude.
like, even when it's like 30 people in here still, it's really intimate and it's still a good time. And every time we've thrown a open mic, it's always a good time. Like everyone always leaves and I feel like I feel like they're part of the community now. Yeah. And two, we're not gatekeeping anybody. So I think it's just that open arms, like, hey, you can come here, grow as an artist, and that's that energy out in the community is really good to have, honestly.
And I think
show what you've been working
remember
on.
that time when they came here and not like us dropped and we ran
Dog,
around this
oh
bitch.
my
We
God,
said,
yeah,
"Kids
literally,
are just
yeah,
dropping
dog, literally,
kids."
yeah,
Shit was
that's a core memory because like
crazy.
that was literally in the midst of the beef, of the beef, and Michael came around, was like, Kendrick drop, and we're all like, play that shit right
Because
fucking now.
This was the week that they were going back and forth.
Yeah,
Like, it was a crazy time.
And Kendrick literally dropped Meet the Grams less than 24 hours before that shit.
Yeah, bro.
And he came back with Not Like Us. And that was just like, what the fuck is going on
I
right
think we
now?
played like 6 times before.
Bro, facts. It was so crazy. It was so crazy.
No, it was turned.
So crazy. So off of that, what do you guys, like, so I know we talked about community and stuff like that. Ultimately, what do you guys see illosophical going to? I know it's kind of a tough question to answer on the fly, but like 5 years from now, let's say 5 years from now, what do you guys think this can ultimately be? Anyone want to go first?
Say honestly, I see it as like a media outlet for artists to express themselves in a comfortable way and not feel like pressured by, I don't know, like, I mean, everybody's gonna have opinions, but it's
Just a judgment-free zone.
Yes,
Play what you've been working on.
yeah, truly, and it's literally like you make music. Everybody's here has either been like they've been in the creative process before, so it's not like you were saying, it's not a judgment zone. We're in here like, all right,
And if you are judging, get the fuck out.
yeah,
Like,
truly,
real
it's
shit.
literally
Right.
one-on-one. So like, I'd say like in the future, if I'm envisioning something, I see as like a platform where people can go and just, I don't know, get their shit off, whether it's a freestyle, whether they are going through something like media wise and they want to like, oh, I need to get this off this way, like this, I want to come here and get this off to this amount of people, or I don't know, just at least be a platform for people that's come through the Midwest, like, I don't know, just being out here and giving people a platform.
Oh, facts.
And I like how we're not limiting it to artists or nothing. Like,
Yeah, truly.
you can come and do poetry. You can do
Yes.
stand-up.
Yeah.
Whatever creative thing you do,
Facts.
come get some eyes on it.
You
Yeah,
can do a
create his own.
DJ set, like it's literally comedy, everything, spoken word. So yeah, it was one of the things where I was like, we can do that on a grander scale, and like we were saying, I mean, in the trajectory, if we honestly looking at how things are going, it's content.
Yeah.
People want to see what you're doing. They don't want to just be behind the scenes, even though it is an underground scene. I think the way that we're going about it is like Clay was saying, the trajectory has been nothing but phenomenal. We're going up.
Facts. Marty, you got anything to add to that?
I was gonna say, like, I feel like the biggest thing I've been noticing with Cincinnati is that it has a lot of creatives, but there isn't really a scene yet.
Mm-hmm.
The one group I've noticed that does kind of have a scene going is like the photography bros.
Yeah.
Like they kind of have a cool thing going on.
Yeah.
But there's like so much more than that, and there's not good outlets. So in my mind, like there being a real creative scene here, like 90s New York or something. Like,
Yeah.
not saying it's gonna be that grandiose or anything, right? Because we're Cincinnati, but I mean, like, I think like a real scene,
Yeah.
you know, that people
Like a
could
hub.
tap into, something that like inspires people too. Because like, I think a lot of creatives I know, that are more like physical art people, get really like caught up in like algorithm or, you know, like Instagram, or like I have to be like a vlogger about my art and stuff. And it's like those guys that run that way, who are just starting out, they get like so burnt out, and it's not a real outlet like at all.
Yeah, truly.
As opposed to like here, like when you're physically in front of people, like especially with my work, like I don't think I would have kept doing it the way that I was doing it if I didn't come to these like the first like 3 shows and people like actually physically in person, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
And you can see the interaction. You're not seeing the emoji. You're not
Yeah,
seeing, like,
it's
you can
a-
see
it's a-
their face
yeah.
light
Yeah.
up and like, bro,
Yeah.
this shit is fire.
And you're
You can
not-
actually feel that.
you're not just on the pile of slop,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
You're like in
Truly.
real life around people,
Not
and
true,
that's
though.
like the point of art anyways, right?
Right.
Like, I mean, I'm not trying to sound like a fart sniffer or something. But like I think when you're keeping the art in the community, it's like you kind of like retain more of the ownership. I feel like, as opposed to like when you're making content, you're like in the Zuck meat grinder and it has to be their way or like no one sees it at all.
Yeah.
That like defeats the whole purpose of art, right? Like if you're not fitting the format, then no one sees it in the algo. Like that defeats the purpose to me. So like I think spaces like this are going to be more and more important, especially with like AI like churning out so much stuff where that's going to get like way worse.
Yeah.
People are going to go back to physical spaces. So like I feel like this kind of vibe is like 3 years ahead of what everyone is going to be doing who's like a creative, basically.
Yeah.
You know,
You see it with how music, people, the same thing with like vinyl or hard copy CDs, and vinyls outsold CDs for the first time in like 20 years. It's like,
For real?
like 1990 or 2000 almost. And we're like, why? Like what's going on? But it's literally that they want that old school feel, or not even that old school feel, but like you were saying about New York. It's like they want that nostalgic feel of like, I don't know, not what's being pressed as far as like the AI and all that shit, like you were saying, but yeah, definitely.
Yeah, authenticity. And I think one thing, go back to what Dom was saying, it's when you're trying to fit the algorithm, I feel like you're killing the creativity.
Yes.
yeah.
And you can't actually be as free as you want to because you're trying to fit into something. And I think we all can relate to that. It's like you try to fit into something and that's not really you. And you get into it, you're like, I want to be part of it, but like that's not really me. I should really try to do my own thing.
Yep.
And like if you have that hub to go to and you can actually express yourself and be like your own person, I think that's really cool to have. And just not try to form to. I mean, it's cool to have Instagram and all that shit. It's cool. But I think it's needed to have that space where you can be authentic and have your art or whatever you do there for people to actually have that real like one-on-one time. Like when I see people buy your art and you're actually able to interact with them.
Yeah.
And like I wish like the paintings I had, I can talk to the artist, be like, hey, I like this and like this, or could you make me this? That's really authentic and that's real, because when they have that piece of art up in their crib, they can be like, I actually met Marty Towns and he actually made this piece customly for me. And you can go back to the conversation that you guys had. In that conversation, they're going to keep that for years to come.
Yeah, and I think too, like if you look at artists who are really successful, most of them, it's not like, oh, like Salon had a really popular reel and now he's like one of the top like pop culture artists. Like, no, he was physically selling art to people.
Yeah,
you know, like I don't think like you're gonna like the kind of way that you pop off, and I think that I've like heard you talk about this too, Chris, is that like if you're trying to fit into the mold. And then that mold stops being the popular one.
Yeah.
All your stuff like ages
Gone.
awful.
Yes.
And you have like no base at all.
Yeah.
Or like if you're starting in like physically in person, which is like the big thing I've been on recently, is like I want to physically get in front of people like with whatever I'm doing. I think that's like a way better basis to start on than like, oh, I gotta have this reel. This reel's gotta have 100K.
Yeah. Because you're killing the process then at that point. You're too focused on the results of it instead of actually making the art. Because when you're focused on the results it doesn't help the creativity because you're focused on this end goal instead of just making this really cool piece of art that can just stand the test of time. Because even then, when I look at a piece of art, I think of it as a time capsule. It takes you back to this time that this artist was in their mindset or their mind space, whatever you want to call it, and they were able to make this thing, and now it can stand the test of time for X amount of years to come. Yeah. So that stuff is really dope to have, honestly. Really is.
Y'all seen that one movie? I think it's either Bruce Almighty. It's that one movie where Morgan Freeman was God, and there was that one all-white room with the file cabinets and all that. Yeah. That's kind of like how people should. I feel. I don't think people should feel no type of way, but. As far as creativity goes, they should look at, like you said, a time capsule. They should be able to take everything creative they've done, whether it does pop or it doesn't, and be able to conceptualize that with themselves. Everything don't have to be like. There's some artists, Don probably knows. Like there's some artists that they do art for themselves, and people ain't even seen the pieces.
Yeah.
Like so, it's literally that. It's just to be able to express yourself and be able to file it back and be able to have it for yourself or for other people to enjoy as well. But
right, just making it for yourself.
Yes.
Making sure you like what you're making.
Yes.
And then eventually that'll resonate with other people.
Yes.
Exactly.
And then it just takes off from there.
Exactly.
The other thing is like making stuff is you making something awful like 90% of the time.
Yes.
And if I think like a lot of younger people, I think I could say that now that I'm pushing 30. A lot of younger people, I feel like are way too narrowed in on like getting the end result that's like a really good reel or whatever.
Yeah.
Or like what do they even call them on TikTok?
TikToks, it's TikToks now.
I feel like saying reels dates me.
Yeah, no, I was
outs me.
I was calling YouTube Shorts reels, and someone's
It's
like,
like a
"Actually,
verbal
YouTube
bald
Shorts."
spot
It's
to
like-
say reels.
But people know what you're talking about. It's
Yeah.
literally a vertical video.
It's anything vertical that you
Yeah.
scrolling through.
Literally, no, dead ass. Nah, yeah. Nah, I mean, you can call them TikTok. I mean, it depends on the platform, but yeah.
Dude, if you noticed how much bad stuff everyone else made, which you would notice if you were physically around them,
Exactly.
you wouldn't be so freaked out about making a bad thing.
Exactly.
And also,
Exactly.
if you don't
Right.
let yourself make the bad stuff, you're like not going to find the like unique thing that you need to find. That's
Exactly.
like you know.
Yeah, you got to get it out of your system. I always say, like, if I make a bad song, at least I got that song out my system now,
Yep.
and now I can get towards what I really want to make that's really good and classic.
Truly.
So, and then, even then, that goes back to social media. People are so afraid to. We had this conversation on top of the crib. People are so afraid to show their losses
Yes.
because they want to fit in and be like, I'm only winning, but like, that's not life.
Yeah.
No.
I wish I could meet somebody that can just. I've won every time. Like even the it was the 73-9 or 70 what was it 73-9 Golden State Warriors.
72-9.
Yeah, I think it's 82 games.
other than
It was
the-
72-10 Bulls and 73-9 Warriors. They lost 9 games.
Other than the Patriots, though, when you ain't gonna lie.
No, they even in the Patriots weren't even perfect. The only perfect team was the Dolphins. The Patriots lost to the Giants in that Super Bowl. They were 16-1. Yeah. So it's like there's no that's the part of the process though. You gotta fuck up in the process.
Yeah, true.
In the process, you're gonna learn what you're good at and what you're not good at. And the stuff that you're not good at, work on that a little bit better. But the stuff that you're really good on, triple down on that shit.
Yep.
And once you triple down on that shit, then you can be like, all right, cool. This is what I really want to work on. But people are so afraid to lose, and they're afraid to put out their losses to the world because people aren't willing to be vulnerable. But then, like you said, back to making art that resonates with people. That's what resonates with people when you're able to be vulnerable and be like, hey, these are where my shortcomings are, and this is where I failed at. But this is also what I'm really good at, because people can resonate with the shortcomings, and people love an underdog story.
Yeah.
They love. Why do we love Rocky? The motherfucker gets back up every time he gets knocked down.
Truly.
So,
Truly. How do you handle losses?
I mean, dude, honestly, it's just like, I'll talk about tour. It's one of those things where like I just sat down and reflected, and it's like, for one, it happened.
Yep.
You know, and it's like I try not to beat myself up about it. I try to talk nice to myself in my head. But it's like, all right, cool, I lost. Let me try to quote unquote watch the film like we're playing football. Watch the film.
Yep.
Learn why I did good, why I didn't do good, and then let me try to come back. That's why I enjoyed the music this year so far, because I'm like, I've been saying this a lot too. I don't want to keep cooking with the same recipe. If I'm not, I'm just going to say chicken Alfredo. If I'm fucking up the sauce on chicken Alfredo, I'm going to change the recipe eventually, because the recipe has to get better, or I need to change something in here to make the food taste better.
I tell people about that, about like plants. It's like a human. Take yourself as a human or the plant. But a plant sometimes ain't gonna necessarily grow, but it ain't necessarily the plant. You change the sunlight, get some new soil, actually give it some water.
Yeah.
Like you were saying, give it some life. Like actually change it up a little bit, and it will start to, you feel me? Grow.
Yeah, no, 100%. Every
Right,
time.
you let it breathe, and then all of a sudden the plant will bloom.
Yep.
Don't water it too much if you're doing all that.
Swear to God.
Yeah. Yeah, like you said, Clay, let it breathe. I think I was watching this YouTube video the other day too, which is funny enough. Michael Jackson was talking about how he made Billie Jean. He didn't go into the booth like, I'm gonna make this song. He just want to make a really good song over a dope ass bass line, and the song came to him. And I thought about like Sad Boy Hours. I said, I've been saying that for years. I want to make an album that sounds like 808 and Heartbreaks. I didn't force it. It kind of just like shit happened in my life, and I'm like, all right, let me go try to make this song now. And it came out to what it was. I'm like, all right, cool. Don't force the process. You gotta let it kind of come to you at some point. You can't stronghold it. That's something I'm even working on now in my life. I can't fucking stronghold everything I want to do. You gotta let shit come to you, and that's when it actually happens. When you're actually in the process, you're falling in love with the process, and shit comes from that.
That's like the like fear of failure, you know?
Yeah,
Of, like trying to like if you're just like, if everything is on like the continuum of your life, like I'm just doing stuff as opposed to like being like really regimented of like, I'm gonna do this exact, like 3 things, which I've like always struggled with, like turning everything into like a job basically instead of a lifestyle, kind of like what you're saying. Like totally ruins it.
But it's easy to do that shit though, because you get caught up in the process and then life hits you.
It's also what everyone tells you to do,
Yeah, I was
and they're
about to
wrong.
say that. Outside
Like,
pressure
everyone-
to be a motherfucker. Too.
Like everyone thinks that everything. It's really funny because like everyone treats, any type of success as like it has to be like you know, like a movie or like a desk job even where, you know,
Yeah.
and it never works out that way.
No, success is not a linear line. It's literally a squiggle. You can go this way, then this way, then this way, then you gotta actually come back to step 3 to go to step 10 or whatever. It's a squiggly line. But that also goes back to, like I said, social media. People don't show that part. And even then, like a movie, right? A movie's 2.5 hours. Real life, if you have a good life, you will live 85, 90 years.
Yep.
And there's gonna be a good chunk of that time where you're just eating shit and you're just like, oh, I don't know what the fuck's going on right now, but I'm just gonna try to keep trying and trying and trying. And then hopefully you break through because you have that resilience and you actually love the craft. I love that picture of the guy that's mining for diamonds.
Yeah.
And he's mining.
The shitpost meme?
Yeah, I like yeah. But like
Yeah.
it's so corny, but it's also true. Cause
It's
like
true.
like there's a good story I was reading in I think it was Millionaire Next Door. There was a guy that went out to California and he had this riverbed that he was digging at it for years and he couldn't find any fucking gold. So he gave up. So then he sold it to somebody. That guy went out where he was going, found so much gold. So much fucking gold. But if that guy just kept going,
He probably put in less than half of the work.
exactly,
They do, but
exactly,
to go get that.
exactly.
Oh man.
Yeah, but that's also like that's my biggest fear is like if I quit now, what happens?
What could have been?
But
Exactly.
also, how are you defining success is even like maybe too structured,
Exactly, but
right? Like,
yeah.
for me right now, I feel like my success is that I like make the thing that I like. And when I look back, like I have weeks, like you said, where you just have to eat shit. I've had like months where it's just like, I know I like doing this thing, but it sucks right now.
Yeah.
So you eat shit for like a month, and then when you go back and look at that month, you're like, oh, that was actually like not that bad.
Yeah.
So like even like when you're failing, you know, and so like defining the success is like, I have to find a whole riverbed of gold or whatever, right? It's like, I don't know, man. Like, is just owning the riverbed sick?
Yeah,
Like, I'm not trying to sound like a douche.
No, but that's
like,
real shit though. It
No,
goes
facts,
back
though.
to
like Goodwill Hunting douchebag, but
but that's real shit though, because like you have to, for one, like you said, define your success, but also to define your own happiness in that success.
Yeah.
Because people going to tell you what your success is, and we all grown up seeing what quote unquote success looks like. But then at the same time, dog, you have to live your own life and be okay with that. Because I always say this: you got to wake up and go to sleep with yourself, and you got to be okay with who you are in the mirror.
And you came into this world, and it's literally like you were saying. It sounds so cliche, but you literally came into this world alone. Your spirit is not gonna be able to take somebody else with them.
Nope.
Like you can't take the money with you. You
Nope.
can't take nothing materialistic with you. So it's dead ass.
I ain't
Dude.
never seen a Brinks truck pull up to a funeral. Ever. Like ever.
Dead ass.
Like I've never seen a Brinks truck pull up and dump all the money in the
I've never seen a ghost be able
we
to
should
take
go
the
back to
money.
doing that though.
What Brinks truck? With,
You should get paired with all like your dog should have to get buried with you, and you like
that would be
and all your PS5.
All your valuables.
You get like they give you like a little underground palace. It's like full of
Like a time
mercury.
capsule.
That's some
Yeah.
that's some Pharaoh shit, dog.
That's what I'm
Pharaoh
saying.
shit. Yeah,
That's
that'd be
dope.
fire. Oh my gosh, bro. Bury my
Your kids should have to carve 1,000 sculptures for you of your every stage of your life, and it gets filled with mercury, like it's the Ming
Oh
Dynasty.
my gosh. Yeah, that's what my funeral's gonna be a paint and sip or a paint and sculpt. For the first 2 hours you just sculpt some shit and then it's the funeral service, put in my mausoleum and then you just go.
Yeah, I was like, we listening to nothing but jazz music.
Yeah.
You gotta think like a dude named Larry who just is like a mid-level accountant, and like he's cool with just like waking up at 7, eating oatmeal, going to work for 9 hours, and then like watching Netflix and going to bed. Like, I mean, first of all, I kind of wish I could be that guy.
The simplicity,
But also-
that's awesome.
I said
Yeah,
this
yeah.
sounds-
But also, I'm saying is like, if you compare that to like what your aspiration is, and like being Larry is considered like that's like totally fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
So like every like
It's a Miata right there, everybody. If you don't know what a Miata is,
every like it's my favorite. every like millimeter of extra thing that you do.
Yeah.
I hate that this totally goes in opposition of what I just said and makes me sound like a megalomaniac. But like, even if you're like an artist and you do like one doodle, you beat Larry by like one doodle.
Yes.
And like, but that's like goes totally against everything I'm like trying to be like kumbaya.
I know
but,
what you mean, but like at the same time, what did
like for your own aspiration, because in
Yeah.
your mind you're like, why am I not this big crazy thing? It's like, dude, everyone else is kind of just hanging out and chilling and they're fine.
yeah.
So like if you did like 2 seconds towards your goal, like you're that's still success. Like
winning.
you're still getting there.
Well, I would add on to it. I would say if Larry's not doing what Larry wants to do, that's when
Yeah.
it's really weird. Because
Yeah.
if Larry's okay with being that accountant from 9 to 5 and that's what he wants to do, cool. But if Larry wants to be a skier, 4 days out the week, but he has to be an accountant and he doesn't do anything towards his goal, that's when I would like really like, what are you doing, dog? Like me doing what you want to do
That's the
for
mining.
them hour.
That's the mining. Like,
Yeah.
But also a lot. That's Minecraft, bro. No, I don't know. A lot of guys, I feel like are totally content with like not, like they have like they like the idea of doing the thing, but they're not actually down with doing the thing at all. So there's that too.
Yeah.
Like
I was talking to this kid at work yesterday, because he's 18. I was like, dude, as you get older, you're gonna have people that like talking about the idea because the idea sounds really fun.
Yeah.
And you have that month of eating shit. It's not as fun when you were talking about the idea 2 months ago when you're like, I'm gonna do this, this, and this. You get into the grind, it's like, man, fuck this.
I know like 50 dudes who love they really love the idea of doing a thing and they don't ever do like anything.
I hate that shit.
Rick Rubin said it in his book. It was like a lot of people love having that light bulb above their head. They love to, think about it, and it's like the feeling that they get from even thinking about it, but they'll never act on it.
Your ideas aren't real.
Yeah.
That's something that like one of the reasons why I was like so hesitant with like when I was doing the like that web comic with my buddy who's an artist, or like even my own art is like I would have this idea in my head of like what the perfect exact thing was, and then the second I couldn't like make it be that immediately, I would like give up. And it's not that like you're incapable of like making a thing that is valuable or like good.
Yeah.
It's that like all the stuff in your head is like imaginary and not real at all. So like of course you could be a total Poindexter genius and have this perfect idea in your head.
Yeah.
But if you don't like challenge that with reality at all and figure out like what like the month of eating shit, which is probably realistically more like years.
Years. Yeah.
Like of course you like it's like having a light bulb over your head is because it's like a fantasy. It's not like anywhere near reality.
But I think people like living in that fantasy more. That fantasy realm is so much fun to live in
It's
because
good to
like
talk
it feels way better when you make
talk about
garbage
it
though.
more when you've done something and you've completed it and you have to do something else. You can't talk about that idea you're just fascinated with. Like you have to move forward fascinated. Like you were saying, a lot of people love grasping onto it and
They get stagnant, but you got to level up.
Yeah, but people are also cool of like staying at a certain level. Like I really, me and my friend, y'all know Janie. Me and Janie talk about like people just ignorance to life. Ignorance is bliss. Like people are just like content with just living a certain way, and they never want to challenge their. For one, they never want to challenge their beliefs, how they see the world, the people around them. They're okay with that, and I sometimes envy that shit because it's like, bro, that shit is such an easy way to live. Like you just do. Like if I went to college and I just got like a 9-to-5 job and I just got a white picket fence house and I got just a regular chick and I have some kids by now. I mean, that, in simplicity, that sounds really lit, but like I don't want that for myself. I want something more out of it.
that sounds like a indoctrination type of thing.
That's a lot of it is though.
Is it really the thing I've been thinking lately though? Is it really like wanting something more, or is it wanting something else? Because like, what's the metric of like what is better? Because there's also dudes like there's a guy that shoots rockets into space and owns a car company, and it like
He wants
is
more.
miserable. You know, like so is that actually more, or is it just a different thing that you can get? You know, because I also like I don't want to like I hate shitting on square people. Because they're like
They make the world go round.
yeah, but also it's like totally fine, right? Like
no, it's okay to do that. That's what I was saying earlier about Larry, right? If Larry's cool with doing that, awesome. I love that for Larry. I'm glad he found his version of life that he wants to live. But now say Larry, like I said, Larry wants to be a skier and he's not going after that shit.
He's fucking up my Fidelity account. You're not thinking about where my money's going. You over here worrying about how much you can spend on skiing. Yeah. And you telling me I can go spend some money. So you're not really focused on your job. I need Larry to be Larry. Yeah. Like I don't need Larry to want to, but even though it is the thing, that's part of how it is.
But Dom, honestly, going back to what you said, I don't think it's ever enough. I like the person that shoots rockets in the sky, they sell cars, everyone has their car. It's never enough for them. I don't know if there's ever going to be like, I think about it all the time, it's like, is there ever going to be a level I get to in life where I'm like, cool, I think I did everything. I think that's when I'm about to die, my last year of life, I think that's when I'll be like, you know what, I did everything I really want to do in life. I got my legacy here. I think I'm cool. I just want to chill this last year and just take everything in and be appreciative of what I have. I'm not saying I'm not appreciative of what I have now, but like you can really just sit back and be like, I want to live to 100. I would say at least 100. I always say 127, but like let's say 105, right? I'm 104. I'll be like, these last 104 years I put in, let me just sit back and just chill and like really reflect on this shit and be happy with what I've done because it's a process.
Yeah.
And that process it's always going. But I don't ever think it's enough until like you get to the end because if you're not growing, I feel like you're dying at the same time.
Would you say? So after we say all that, would we say success is actually not really wanting shit in life and then just letting
I think you're just living your life, dog.
just living in a flow state?
Yeah,
Like-
honestly, dude. I don't even know. I don't even know if there's a concrete answer for that shit because I feel like it changes at all
Yeah,
times.
and everybody got a different definition of success.
Yeah.
So
Truly.
You got to define it for yourself.
That's a fact.
But I think as we get older too, like life's gonna hit. We're gonna have kids, and then things are gonna change for us. We're gonna be like, all right, this thing that was important when I was 20. I'm 20 when I was 26. It's not as important when I'm 42.
Yeah.
You know.
Truly.
So I think you just gotta live your life. I think live your life how you want to. That's the biggest thing, and then your success comes from that.
Facts.
But that's one of those ongoing questions that's always going to evolve, and I don't ever feel like there's a concrete answer. But you got to keep searching for it.
Can we talk about aesthetics?
Aesthetics.
That's something I want to talk about. But like specifically like people aesthetics.
Like
Like you know like Safe Sleazy?
No.
Do you know Safe Sleazy?
Uh-uh.
Oh. Okay, so do you know like how iDubbbz looks now?
Yes.
That's Safe Sleazy.
Really?
Really?
That vibe, like mullet, mustache, and like
Okay.
like schoolboy desk tattoo style.
Oh dear God. Oh my God.
You know what I'm talking
Dear
about?
God, yes.
That's Safe Sleazy, but he's like from San Fran.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
like he lives in Portland.
okay.
That kind of like that.
So wait, you say so? What? Huh? So
Is that like the modern hipster or what? It's too popular though.
It's like
Everyone does that now.
hipster. I feel like we were having this conversation the other day. I
Yeah.
feel hipster's still hipster.
I say the hipster
Yeah, that's
scene.
true. No, we did. Yeah, we did have that conversation.
It's just septums now. They just have septums.
Yeah.
That's it. And
Dude.
the tattoos are still. Like
I'm
you
trying to
said.
Those
think what
slutty
makes
white
the
boys
real-
need to be stopped.
I would say what really makes a hipster? Because there's hippies.
I get called a hipster a
I
lot.
say because there's
You're
hippies
not
that
a
live in the
hipster.
car.
I know.
You're not a hipster.
There's the hippies, not the car, but there's the hippies that will gut out the vans and gut out the buses and live off the land. And then
That's
be
just a
hippies.
homeless person. That's just a homeless person
You
with a
think
trust
so?
fund.
Because
Yeah.
imagine with the you can go on YouTube though, and you'll see people living like there's like van life.
Yeah,
There's
that's
like people living van life on the
Yeah.
road, just
Those
vlogging.
are.
And it's like
I think of hippies like they're doing like shrooms
yes,
and they live off the land and they go to
Yes.
those retreats like Burning Man.
and it
like-
is fuck the government. It
Yeah,
is
yeah.
full-
The people that live in buses and like they're just people that just want to live free.
Yeah,
Like
True.
To me, a hippie, like I said, they're smoking weed, they're taking shrooms, they're taking acid, they're trying to expand their mind and get a bigger understanding of the world.
them free people. Those is what we were talking about. Some of them, that's success to them.
Exactly.
Like they made
they
made
found
it.
their success, and that's the beauty in it.
they got inner peace
Yep.
Exactly.
doing that.
Truly.
They were like, "Fuck, I really want to live in that car," and then they reached Nirvana.
But literally, like you were saying, aesthetic. They was like, if I can turn my ideas of what I want this bus to look like, I can. This is my world.
Yep.
Like this is my world, and I can just live in that. I don't even need to worry about the outside stuff, and that's, in essence, freedom to them, success or whatever
Yeah.
you call it. But I don't know.
I don't know why I brought Safe Sleazy up.
He's gonna diss you.
I
now.
wanted
You
to
can-
talk shit about them.
No.
Yeah, I don't know
This
why.
is a peaceful
This is a
podcast.
peaceful
The
pod.
first podcast has to be peaceful.
We're friends with everyone here. Listen, this is the safest podcast you can listen to. You can have this on around your mom. Your mom will love this.
As long as she's hot.
Yeah, truly.
It's like, nah, if she's a cool person.
Dom,
But
what
nah,
kind
we about to say Chris.
I was gonna ask Dom what kind of music he listens to.
Oh no.
Oh,
Oh yeah, you
here we
gotta
go.
give out. You gotta give
I
out like
was-
2 songs. Like I know you get your morning going.
I listen to like vaporwave.
Really?
Yeah. I listen to like weird house music.
No. That's not bad because
Yeah.
I mean,
It's cool.
Like what's it? Cyan Blue. Luxury Elite lives in California or lives in Kentucky. Like she lives like here.
Like around this area.
Yeah, she lives in like Louisville or something.
Got her pull up in one of the shows.
luxury.
No,
Elite.
I don't think you can. I don't think they make music anymore. To be honest with you.
Let's come vibe. Check out the vibe.
Yeah, they're like a house DJ kind of. They were really popular in like 2016, or like
What was
like Phoenix 2772.
I don't know.
That's the tops.
Oh,
The best that ever did it. Go. He's like on Bandcamp, just not clearing any of his samples. He's still selling his mixtapes. So sick, dude.
That's the.
I love that. That's my vibe.
I wish sampling was so much easier to clear. Motherfuckers be hating sampling.
Nah, but it goes as the years go. I think we talked about that one time where it was like the 50s, 60s, and 70s are all open right now, but it's like the 80s, 90s, no, 70s, 80s, and 90s is about to open up for like, you don't have to ask permission to go get
can just do
streaming.
it.
Like you can just
What?
go get it.
That's
like,
perfect.
But it's literally
Seriously?
That's how
rocks.
That's how the sampling stuff usually works. Like it goes like each year. It's like you don't have to ask that person for the rights to the music or something like that. The rights to their rights expire or something like that.
It's like 50 years or something. Is that what it was? Or
It's less than that. I thought it was like 20, 30. Like,
damn.
It could be less than that, but yeah, that's why a lot of people were scrambling for Elvis. They were scrambling, like they're not Elvis, but the Beatles. Like a lot of these labels are about the music. That's why music always switches every so often.
Every
because
10 years.
people can take sounds and then they just revamp them. They just take them and then spin them again. But
See, it's gonna get real weird when people start sampling the samples. That's when it's gonna get weird. It's like, bro, I heard this. Like, what's the one song? You're my little boo thing, and now
that's a sample.
No, it's literally, I forget what the original song is, but they just ripped the whole original song. I'm like, bro, this isn't a good song. I think it was in Kroger's, and they played at my job too. I'm like, bro, they literally just ripped the original song. He threw some new words over that shit. I'm like, bro, I don't like, this is not creative.
Truly.
It really isn't.
Dude,
Truly.
behind like every good dance song that came out the last maybe like 30 years is like an R&B group in the 80s that could like actually sing
The bar
and
song.
play instruments.
The bar song by Shabuzi is just literally tipsy. Everybody in the club getting tipsy.
Literally.
I remember when someone told me that at work, and I was like, oh, word. I didn't know it was like that. And Shabuzi makes great music.
Yes.
But I was like, he literally just took that. I understand now.
And it's the inspiration part.
Yes, yeah. I mean,
Right.
like, as long as he gives them credit on it, I ain't really tripping on it. But I realized it, and I was like, But there's going to be, like, even then with AI and shit now, right? There's going to become artists, producers, whatever you want to call them, that aren't creative, and they're just going to rip shit.
It's a fact.
Like, I look at Lucid Dreams. They literally just ripped Sting's bass line.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like
Whatever
that's always
the
been going on though, right?
Yeah, but my thing is, if you're gonna do that, just kind of manipulate it a little bit more. Just don't take the chords and just put it on your song.
Yeah.
Hide it a little bit more.
Yeah, like put your own spin on it a little bit. Just don't take, like when you did Hijack, right? You literally took, I'm not gonna say the sample, but you literally took that sample and then you took 1 second of it and then literally just looped that bitch. Mm-hmm. Now imagine if you just took that chord and just played that shit through the whole thing.
Right,
I've
right.
been like, what are we doing?
Just
up here?
say it's a remix at that point and you're rapping over it.
Exactly. I just wish motherfuckers say it's remix. That's like the new. I forget what the song is. We're gonna realize we're gonna make it a real TikTok, whatever. We're gonna put the song on here. I wish they'd have said, yeah, this is the 2024 remix of this song. That'd been perfect. But
Truly.
motherfuckers ain't gonna do that shit.
No. Mixtapes either. Like that's literally it. It was like Lil Wayne, you would know he was gonna take the beat and then do the mixtape.
But see, with the mixtapes, it was different though, because they weren't trying to sell that shit.
Yeah,
With
true.
a mixtape, dog, when Wayne was dropping No Ceilings, we just knew Wayne was about to rap his ass off.
Yep.
Swag. I didn't know Swag Surf was an original song until I heard the original song.
Really?
I heard Lil Wayne's verse first, and I was like, "Yo, this is crazy, bro."
He got a lot of songs that he took the beat and walked on them better. Like I ain't gonna lie. Like there's a lot of them songs where he was
Yeah, no, there's a meme or like a video about someone like, "Man, this beat's fire. This song's fire." And like, bro, Lil Wayne just jumped on it, and they just crash out because there was a second like. I don't think any other artist has done that. I wish that we can bring back mixtape so bad, but there was a second when Lil Wayne would jump on your beat, and it's like, yeah, this is no longer your song
it ain't
anymore.
even your song.
He out raps you.
Yeah. Dog, literally. I couldn't imagine working on a song for 2 years. My album drops, it's a banger, and then Lil Wayne takes it 2 months later and just kills it. And like, yeah, this is Lil Wayne's song now.
You might as well just take his verse, get a hookup out of it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Hey, listen, I'll put you on the remix for my deluxe album.
Like truly.
When
bro.
deluxes were deluxes. Hey, I'm gonna put you on my remix, and we're gonna make this shit pop.
Truly.
But yeah, dude, like Wayne's one of the. He still makes good music. That mixtape Wayne though was different. Mixtapes don't even come out anymore.
Mm-mm.
Like that mixtape feel. So we had that conversation like a week or two ago. Like the mixtape feel is like it's different. It really hits different.
Truly.
But you were talking about before we took a little break, Chris. You were talking about artists. What were we talking about? Like artists that we listen to, or like favorite artists.
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask you what top artists you listen to daily.
You already
If you
know
had to
top.
get your day to day, your day to day was going.
Day to day, Chris Taylor for sure.
Yes.
On my unreleased music.
I was listening to Kicking Down the Doors today with all the windows down, driving through Dayton, going 25 miles per hour, just like.
Appreciate it, dog. That shit's
Yeah.
bro. Johnny Politics is such a. I fucking love that project. I was in my fields last week and I played that project and I was like, Get out your feels, dog.
Yeah.
Bro, Johnny Politics, I was talking so much shit on there, and I was like, this isn't who I am.
That needed to be said,
I
though.
need
And like you were saying, it's about that time capsule of that time. Like, you're going to always be able to go back at the time like that. I was like that.
Yeah. No, facts. But nah, my unreleased stuff, Childish Gambino's always in heavy rotation. I'm trying to think about who else. I've been listening to Future like the last couple of days. I've been listening to Future the last couple of days.
Boy.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, bro. Yeah, I've been listening to Future.
I want to ask, though, like, some of these artists, because I know you probably got a lot of songs that you're like, if I was, whenever I get on, I'm gonna have to respin that motherfucker. Like, cause you seen how Doshi did that with her stuff. She's like, I'm gonna just take this song and then actually do it again, and then respin it and actually make the tracks. She has 2 music videos for it.
Really?
And, like,
interesting.
there's one where she's in her room during COVID making it, and it's like sitting on the bed, and it's like literally shot on the iPhone camera, and then I don't know what she used for chopping it up, but she literally made an iPhone video for the anxiety video, and that's said like 20 million or something like that, and then she has another video that came out on top of it.
Oh,
so
shit.
streams is just doubled for it. So I was gonna ask, like, would you see yourself doing something like that if that ever did happen, or would you just keep it to where you at, like,
I
keep
see
it on this track?
When I was younger, yes, but now I'm just like, I don't really want to rehash old music, honestly. Like, if my fans are really hardcore fans, they'll go back and listen to my shitty mix of a song I made back in 2019 when I first moved out of my parents' house.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to see the growth. Because, like, my thing is, too, if I was supposed to make that song, like, 5 years from now, I would have made that song then, not all them years back.
Yeah.
Now, if it's, that's how I feel now. Like, when I was younger, for sure, but now it's just like, I don't want to go back and try to remake Flamingo.
Yeah.
I want to go make Flamingo too.
Facts.
What if it was same beats, but now you got different perspective on something and you lay a different verse?
Like rapping yourself.
I probably just leave it how it is, dog. Honestly, like, I have an idea for like my first album. I want to make a beat, rap on it now, and then when my first album comes out, I didn't have my perspective when my first album comes out. That's been like my big long. I need to like make that beat now because I'm getting older. I think that should have been fire if I made it when I was 18. But I want to do that now. Like, make a beat, leave it in the hard drive, and then come back to it when my debut album's about to drop. And that'd be like my second to last song, or maybe my last song on the project, and then finish that second part of the beat, and then rap over it when I'm like whatever age.
Yeah.
But now I don't want to rehash music. Like I said, my fans really fuck with me, and they want to go back and listen to that old like shitty mix, and like when I could barely flow like that, and like I didn't really have my rap voice yet. So
which I respect, because that shit's gotta be hard to not say the same thing or rap, or like at least talk about the same thing, and
it's
as much music as you have.
It's pulling from life. That's my biggest thing. Like, I make sure I pull from my real life, and like if there's lessons that come back up, try to talk about them in a different way, or like if I had a lesson that hit me when I was 20 that's hit me now at 26, why am I still going through the same thing? I might have a different perspective.
Facts.
Like, I got a song called Running It Back that I was writing a couple of days ago, and I'm like, dude, I can't, like, this saying I'm doing the same shit. I'm trying to stronghold a situation. That was the same thing I was doing when I was 22.
Yep.
But like, I have more perspective on it, and I shouldn't be doing this shit because I'm not 22 anymore.
Yeah, truly.
So
Hell yeah.
You should do a time capsule beats.
yeah,
You should make like 10 beats and bury them somewhere.
yeah.
Dig them up when you're 40.
Dog, honestly, I should do that. I should do that.
That would be cool.
I should do that. Yeah, I need to get back into beat making because like it's so tough to make beats. But yeah, that's a good idea, Dom. I should really do that.
That'd be
That'd be
gas.
tough.
I want to see more like multimedia shit.
What you mean by multimedia?
Like something weird. I don't even know. Like the one thing I was thinking about is if you like had a pop-up bakery and then you made a bunch of like background music.
Oh my god.
And then you
that'd
like
be hilarious.
came up with all your own recipes. So it was like
Like how Trick Daddy do it. He has like, it's an old rapper, and he has his own restaurant, but basically just plays old school hip hop, his music. Like, keeps the streams up, keeps everything going, and
That's
then
funny.
like
I can
you
go with
still-
jazz. Yeah.
you pay your bills by just streaming your music all day in your own company.
yeah.
It's like-
I'm saying like you go in it with that intention originally though.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm gonna open a bakery for like a month. And I'm gonna make an album just to be playing in this bakery.
That'd be fire.
That is
Something weird like that.
That's some Kanye level stuff.
I'm gonna say that. That's dope. I could do a pop-up shop. I can do it with Jess because she does her baking stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, baking music. Just make some beats and like, rap over or singing or whatever.
Yeah.
That'd be fire.
And then you're controlling like every part of it. It's like all of it goes together. It's like an experience more.
Yeah,
It's an experience. I curate experiences. I'm actually more of like a multimodal artist. You guys say some shit like that. That'll probably get you laid. Say multimodal artist.
I'll get you some buns.
That'll get you so much LA pussy, dude.
Get you some buns.
I've never been there. I need to go to LA for the one time and see what they are like out there.
It's not that. It's like regular. Yeah.
Bro.
It's like a regular place where regular people live.
Go on
See,
GTA.
dog,
It's just
Go on
more
Grand Theft
expensive.
Auto. You see better. You see
Talking
better
shit
graffiti.
directly from Kentucky about California. You guys are regular. You're so normal. I have the authority to say that.
Holy shit! But now you know what's crazy, Dom? You're not wrong though. Like, remember we went to Houston, dog, and I had like this big fucking like grandiose idea how Houston was gonna be, bro. Now I'm not saying Houston's a bad city, but for me personally, I didn't like Houston. The bitches were bad, the food was great, but everybody was bougie down there, and I was driving the '09 CRV, and they were looking at me like I was fucking crazy. Not for me. And then I went to Atlanta during COVID. Probably wasn't the best time to go. I wanted to move to Atlanta. I talked about that shit for the longest time. Didn't like Atlanta. Wasn't fun. Didn't have a good time. But a lot of places, they're different, but they have the same people.
Yeah.
They just look a little bit different. There's the same archetype in different places.
Yep.
Yeah, dude. I had like never even flown on a plane really until I got that Amazon corporate job.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh damn, like I get to go to like, West Hollywood or whatever, right? And you're thinking like it's gonna change your whole life because like you're finally going around, and then you get there and it's like regular.
Yeah,
You're
see,
like,
that's
fuck.
the thing. But you know what's crazy? I think that's the perspective that they show about that city is like, I remember when kids went to I don't know how y'all school was, but band kids went out to LA for a week during Thanksgiving or some shit. And they went to LA, they walked the Hollywood Boulevard or whatever. They came back, they're like, y'all, there's so many homeless people. And I was like, what the fuck are y'all talking about? I've never seen that from any video I've seen. I thought LA, Hollywood was like this grand place. It was big. They're like, no, it's small. It's like Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. is small as fuck.
Yes.
I thought it was huge. No, the White House is small.
They got a lot of shit going on out there. You get
Bro,
caught
D.C.
up so quick.
You listen, if you are the outskirts of D.C., rough as fuck. We've been to D.C.
Yep.
Got Q out there. Rough as fuck out there. But inside there, nice. Super cool. No homeless people. Outside that motherfucker, terrible. And then there was one spot we would go on tour, dog. Remember that 25 we said we were, 5 miles away? And it said it was going to take us an hour to get there?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what?
Yeah, so we were on tour, literally the mixer that we're using right now. We went to Guitar Center. We went to go buy it, right? So then we got to go to the show that's in D.C. It said we're like 5 miles away, but it's going to take us an hour. I'm like, no, it's not. I promise y'all, it was 25 miles per hour, and there were stoplights at every street, and there were speed bumps. And you have these people on their scooter bikes and everything speeding by you. Like
Dude,
it's nothing.
You're
that
just
was
jealous
like
of 'em.
going to Cali for work. Like that was the biggest thing that like when I came back here, I still every time I get on the freeway, I'm like, oh my god, this is so nice. Like there's no one
No traffic.
on the roads really. And I mean there will be people, like there'll be traffic, but it's still like it's so nice living in a place that is like not overrated.
Yes,
because you
dude.
could like drive places actually.
Yeah,
It's so nice.
75 and 71 is bad during rush hour, but like right now we got on there, we're chilling. Like you don't have to
Yeah.
wait in traffic. Like Atlanta and Houston was the same way. Oh my gosh, we pulled in and it was like 11 traffic. It was packed, and our boy Rich is like, man, there's never any traffic. We have 6-lane highways,
Dude,
dog.
He lied.
I still dream about 2021 traffic though. Like peak COVID traffic.
Oh, nobody on
Empty
the
free-
road.
Nobody anywhere.
Dude, I love
Gas
it.
is 90 cents.
Dog,
Dude, I was literally like driving around on 90 cent a gallon gas thinking like we're going to pay for this so hard. And I didn't realize how right I was until like this year.
yeah, no facts. Dude, dog. Now you know what? Gas isn't been as expensive as it was like last year. Cause that shit was getting like 3 something. I remember we got to 360, 370. It was getting to 4. I was like,
Some spots it hit 5,
Yeah,
6.
yeah.
You was driving a caddy.
Dude, like 2 years ago it was like
man.
2 years ago it was like $9 in like LA for,
See, I
for a
couldn't do that.
minute.
I couldn't do
No.
that.
I wouldn't be
Ridiculous.
able to live anywhere if I went there and I seen some shit like that.
$9.50 for gas a gallon.
That's what I'm saying. We live in a great little the Midwest. The Midwest is very
and that's why
very-
dog. That's why this is why the scene is so dope too. Cause it's like cost of living is good.
Yeah.
Like it's expensive, but like it's not crazy expensive like LA or like Houston wasn't too bad. But LA, New York's expensive as fuck. Philly's kind of getting up there too. Yeah, it's a nice spot. And then coming back from Houston and Atlanta, I'm like, bro, like it's nice out here. The weather can be kind of weird. It's bipolar. Yeah, the bitches are kind of badder in Atlanta and Houston, but like you still got some fine chicks in Cincy.
Dude, the people here also like suck way less.
Yes, they're
Like,
actually
they're so cool.
Quality
Yes.
of
Like,
a human being.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
The
Dude, and
Midwestern
that's
nice.
nobody is talking about ever.
No.
Like when I was working for Amazon Pharmacy and we were flying people in from like all over the country, like who had certain certifications to like work in the lab. Dude, they would come here and they'd be like, I'm so shocked that like I'll go out for 3 weekends in a row. I won't see like a single bar fight. It's like, yeah, dude, I thought that was regular.
Yeah,
They'll be like from Chicago and they'll be like, dude, everyone here is so nice. It's like they seem like regular. I'm like, but really, like, it is. Like when I was out last night too, like everyone shooting pool was like really cool.
chilling.
Yeah. And like no one like that doesn't get enough credit either.
No, it's that Southern hospitality is a thing, but like that Midwestern just chill vibe.
Yeah.
I always say anything about the Midwest. If you want to come and raise a family out here, this is the perfect place to do it. It's chill, it's laid back, people are nice. You're not going to get into a lot of fights.
You experience every season.
Exactly. Exactly.
The other thing too is that like not to wrap totally back around to the first thing we already talked about, but like that's another thing that people aren't appreciating the aspect of like trying to build a scene of creatives here.
Yeah.
Is like it's not totally pulled together yet. Like there's pockets that are like finally starting to form, but like I think the culture here, like socially,
Yeah.
is like so poised to have like a really sick
Yeah.
scene.
Yeah.
And like I've never met someone here in Cincy who's like doing it for the wrong reasons either, which is like a really I don't think people realize how like lucky that is. Because if you go to like LA or New York, I bet to like Texas now too, everyone is like a clout monster.
Yeah.
Where like the people here, like when you meet like that group of photographers or like, you know, like other artists, like I would say 98% of them just want to make cool shit, and that's like the only thing they care about.
Yeah.
And that's like so rare.
And they all take pride in being themselves. Like
Yeah.
you literally said, they have that own little community where they all know each other and they all treat each other like damn, you got that craft. And they all literally that. They ooze for each other's like work. They're like, bro,
Yeah.
this shit is crazy. I need to learn that. Or this shit is tough. I would it like yeah. I don't know
Yeah.
what I'm doing.
For sure.
That Midwest chill. Man. All right. Well, is there anything else y'all want to talk about for real? I feel like we got a good pot in for real for this being the very first episode.
That's what I was gonna ask. As far as like adding on to like what type of your body of work already, what type of if you had to add one attribute to yourself, would be one thing that you could add to like your bag and be like, all right, we moving a little bit more like it's not like I can't say a brush stroke, but
Yeah.
I don't know, like I don't know how to explain it.
Let's start with Clay. He ain't really talked that much on the pod. I mean, he has talked. Now we'll start with Clay. We haven't started a question with Clay.
Just an example, like an artist, like a rapper wanting to step into acting.
Yeah.
An artist wanting to, I don't know. But, yeah.
I feel like I'm in the lanes that I want to be in. It's just about not procrastinating and keeping on myself to do the hard work, get it done, build the foundation.
Where's my rug, Clay?
I'm about to say, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm about to say, what the
Throw me a rug.
Where your feet is.
Yeah, I'm about to say.
Yeah, I've
you
been
the rug.
slacking. I gotta
dope,
just
though,
sit
dude.
down and
You had-
sit down and grind.
You had like the sickest like Western like sleaze like cigarette aesthetic going. You got to get back to that because that
No.
and that's you were a visionary because you were doing that shit like 2 years ago. And now that's like the coolest thing right now.
No,
Yeah.
that's true, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta get back on it.
But that was one thing I was going to ask because, like, I know you got the rugs, but as far as, like, promotion and all that stuff, like, getting on skits and acting and all that stuff, like, would you see yourself acting? Like, can you see yourself?
I mean, I want to make movies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like we talked about House of Virgo, so like I want to definitely voice act for House of Virgo. I want to act. I think there's a lot of stuff I want to do. That's just like, because my first passion was movie making. Like I wanted to go to the USC for film directing.
Yes.
Like that was my passion. And my dad was like, "Hey, a little expensive," and I was like, "Yeah, all right, cool." And then I stopped caring about school and I couldn't get any scholarships, and I was like, "I'll just keep rapping." But I think film just like this year I really want to lock on a video stuff. Like I got the camera and stuff. I'm shooting Doug's video here next week. I got some stuff for Courage I want to shoot, and we're doing these ill sessions.
Hell yeah.
So film and like directing videos, that's a really big thing. I want to get into beat making. That's a really big thing I want to get into. And then I'm trying to think. And then for like music wise, like me rapping, I want to get better at like telling stories and like just being more vulnerable on tracks and like being able to tell about certain situations that I wanted. Like I can rap about them in the broad sense, but like getting into the fine, minute things where like when you say that shit, a person that lives in fucking Idaho can be like, yeah, they can visualize it and be like, I actually went through that same thing. So that's a couple things I really want to add to my bag for sure.
I guess I should add in, I'd also love to be a music supervisor, like scoring films and whatnot.
So I'll let Clay score my films.
Yeah. Right. Hell yeah.
That'd be fresh.
That would be sick. I think. Sorry, you're gonna.
No, I'm gonna say. What about you, Marty?
Marty.
Marty.
I wanted like I don't know. There's a few things here, right? Like obviously, it's not really what Chris asked, but I really love that idea of like the idiot just makes stuff. I want to be an idiot. Like I don't want to like think at all about like I just want to be in a constant stream of like doing stuff, which is like I don't care if it's like me writing or like painting or like doing other stuff. So I want to build like that attitude more. Mm-hmm. But I think like if we're talking like purely like of like a different type of art, I really want to learn like gesture and like human form and stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Foundational art. Because like right now I'm like an outsider artist. I don't have like any formal training. Mm-hmm. It's probably pretty obvious.
I promise you wouldn't know. I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
You just make art.
Yeah. Like, and I mean like that's dope too, but like that's something I definitely want to learn. I think for me, like I really love the idea of like being a guy who has like huge 8-foot by 6-foot canvases and like paints like huge ass. Like that's like the final bastion, I think, is like doing that. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
What about you, Crew?
That I know of, honestly, if I had to add one thing, if it was to cutting hair, I don't know, I want to learn how to braid and lock and all that stuff, but on like a whole different scale. I want to get into like literally that. I want to get into like an acting bag or like a whole different creativity bag, like doing short films. Like you ain't got to do a whole movie. I don't even got to get into acting, but well, I would have to act for the short film, but like 15, 20-minute short films or I don't know. Like we were saying earlier, if you actually lock in on something that you try, like I ain't teach myself. My dad, he's known how to DJ, and I have people who DJ around me, but as far as like transitioning and getting one song into the next, I taught myself how to do that in 3 weeks, 4 weeks. And it was like actually not worrying. I'm not even on Instagram, social, literally studying it. Like them is the only, getting obsessed with something to where I was like, I'm cold at this. And it was at the point where I was like, okay, I know how to do it. I'm gonna just use it as an expression whenever I want to. Or I know how to do it now to where I don't even need to do it. But I want to do that with a whole lot of other things. But I do want to get into an acting bag. If I did say stepping out of something and adding something to myself, I want to get into like a little creative bag.
Hell yeah, for sure. Right. That's cool. Yeah. That's dope for all of us. We got to now, the thing is 5 years from now, when we look back on this pod, we got to make sure we all actually do that shit.
Hold each other accountable.
Yeah, that's the big thing. Hold each other accountable.
Not true.
Dude, we got to, like, that's something I've been wanting to do with you guys where it's like everyone seems so busy and I don't want to be like an annoying weirdo. But that's the one thing I've been wanting to do is like some kind of accountability.
We need to check in.
Yeah, absolutely.
I used to do that shit but then he had life shit going on. And he was like, we got to take a break from this.
Yeah.
And we never started it back up again.
Well, I'll go into you guys always hear me talk about Napoleon Hill. We have a mastermind group right here.
Yep.
So the only way that we get iron sharpens iron. So like what we need to do, I always look at I play Crusader Kings 3. There's this game they call it Crusader Kings 3. It's a strategy game. And you can basically be like a king of a realm, and you got these other countries that you're trying to help form or whatever and stuff like that. You're trying to make them your own kingdom. Mm-hmm. But like how I look at it, right? We're our own kings of our own counties and like that, right? We need to go, and we're all part of this empire illosophical. Let's go on our separate ways, do what we got to do, but then we come back and we all kind of talk about what we got going on and be like form that bond and like, hey, this is what we got going on. And then if I'm lacking in something, you guys be like, hey, maybe you do this, this, and that, and then vice versa. If you guys got something going on, then one of us can help you with that too. But back to mastermind groups, that's the only way that like you grow. Like I look at like JP Morgan, all them people, they had mastermind groups back in the day. Yep. I look at like Hollywood, how it was formed. They was 3 or 4 guys that were literally in Hollywood that formed that shit, and they had a mastermind group. So we gotta make sure that we just one, like you said, Dom, that's a good idea. When we talked about it earlier, I'm very passionate about this shit. So like, if you hit me about this shit, dog, I'm definitely gonna hit you back because like this is all I really do.
Yeah.
So like we have a mastermind group, and this is why we're doing this podcast because this is the origin story basically. When they make a comic book about illosophical, when they do the documentary about illosophical, they can be like, oh, this is the podcast that they did. And we have it on film and we actually have it on concrete that we actually did that shit.
And they'll take stuff that we've said and it's not a he say, she say type of thing.
Exactly.
They got to go grab a whole bunch of people or,
Yeah, I think like the 2-week check-ins are good. Every week is a lot. I think 3 weeks is good. Monthly I think is too far out, but I think 2 weeks. We can talk about this off the camera too.
Yeah.
But bi-weekly check-ins I think are really good. For sure.
With bi-weekly check-ins with a measurable, like, this is what I want to work on and finish.
For sure. Yeah, that's easy to do. That's easy. We just got to lock in and do it. We've been having conversations, lock in and do it.
Got to have accountability partners.
Big facts. All right, y'all, anything else we want to talk about? We all good? We feel like this is a good first episode for us?
That I know of. I'm loving it.
I think we podding now. That was fun. I ain't gonna lie. That was real fun.
I'm with it.
All right, y'all. So all gonna look at this camera right here. I'm gonna drop all of our social media handles right here. If you guys want to follow any of us or our social media pages, you guys can. But you guys can also follow the Illosophical page. It's gonna be up here, and then our socials are gonna be down here. But this has been Crispy. I'm gonna say y'all do your outros. I'll go last.
I'm out of here. It's Chris, aka Crispy Cuts.
I'm Marty Towns.
Hey, it's been real. Clay.
All right, y'all. My name is Chris Taylor, and this concludes another episode of Illconversations. We'll catch you for the next one. Peace.
We
podding now. Look at us. We podding now.
Wrong with a split. Only thing I'm focused on how to get us rich. If you down for the team, pull up with the click. But we don't wanna fuck with you if you gon' switch.